Okay, so right now today for AS Computer Science, we will going to talk about filing. And in filing, we suppose that we already know how to tackle all the other aspects. For example, we know how to make our programs for the open mode dot input, the open mode dot output, and the open mode dot append. So if we know already how what kind of programs that we have done and what kind of programs that we have done here and what kind of programs that we have done here, then we can go for the next level. What if we have to open two files at the same time in a program? ठीक है भाई, अगर हमें ऑलरेडी पता है कि हम इनपुट मोड के अंदर अगर फाइल को ओपन करता है तो the thing that we used to do is like while not EOF1, we just try to read the text file till there is a thing end of file, and then we just use the input command, the file reference number, or in pseudocode you just write down the file name, and we use the variable in which the value is copied one by one every time this input command is called. So this is the input mode. In output mode, we often, there is a set of data given to us, so we often use a for loop, and using that for loop we write the data. This is not the console.write line, this is the write line command. Or let's suppose if we're talking about the pseudocode, we just use the write file command to write the data in a particular file. It could be an array, it could be a variable, and this will going to create the file or write the data inside the file. And append mode, definitely if the file already exists and we just want to add more data to it. So we're supposing that we have already done these practices, and now we come across with the question which we basically give which we gave you in the last second term test, in which we have to open two files at the same time. So let's take that question as a reference. Yeah, this is the one. It's in our past paper booklet, paper 2 on page number 256. I'm pretty sure you already have this printed booklet with you. In any case, if you don't have it, you know where to get it. You can go to this website and you can go to AS, and definitely you can download it from there. All right, sorry, probably bad internet. Okay, let's get back to the question, and this is the question, page number 256. The question says that okay, whenever we're going to do any past paper questions, or even if you will going to do the questions in the paper, the most important thing is that you have to understand the question. So you just really have to get into the details, get grasp of it. What is the question is trying to tell us? The sports club maintains a record of the email address of each of its members. The details stored in a text file, email details or txt. This is the name of the text file. The format of each line of the text file is as follows. So this is the format. They always give this. Whenever I'm pretty sure if like you have done all of the past papers which are given in this booklet with an understanding, and just like I often used to say that if you just do it this GitHub code of all these files, I'm pretty sure that you will be quite ample strong enough to get done with the paper efficiently. You can ace, and you can go for an A grade. So the format, the reason of telling you is this, because of most of the question they follow this pattern. They always like they comes up with the same kind of the questions. So in filing they are like quite similar. So what they're trying to tell us that this email.txt have a data already stored in this form. Let's take an example. Membership number and email address, where membership number is 4-character string of numericals, email address is a variable length string. So this is what they mean actually, that if you already have a text file, and within the text file, the name of the text file, what is the name of the text file is? It's email details.txt. So email detail.txt, this is the name of the file, and this is the file, the text file we're supposing it, and it already have data something like that. And now double quotes, of course, it starts with the numerical 4-digit code. It could be anything, but it must be fixed, and then there could be any variable length email. So the length of this part of the address can vary. This will be fixed. So the data will be definitely written something like this. Yeah. So for example, and so on, and so on, and so on. And definitely there will be an invisible end of file. It always there. Okay. Which we use to read the data. We just read the data till the end of file. All right. So this is how the text file it might looks like. And when the member leaves the club, the details need to be removed from the file. Now the thing is that what they want us to do, there is a text file full of lots of members. And what if um, that if some member leaves, for example, if this particular member leaves, and we need to delete this data from the text file. To achieve that, look, we haven't done this question before in AS. This probably the last thing, the remaining portion of our syllabus. And in fact, it's regarding filing as well. The last thing regarding filing, that how to delete a particular record. Or you can call it a line from file. So this is the thing which we are actually trying to do, right? So delete a record or a line from a file. If we want to do that, if we want to do that, if we want to do that, we need to open two files. You just need to remember that. Whenever they will going to come up with such a scenario in which they will ask us to delete a row or a line from a file, it's mean that you need to open two files. You cannot do without doing that in text files. Remember that. I'm pretty hopeful. I'm trying to, just make things to put in your mind. So if they were going to ask you to delete a record or a line from a text file, you need to open two files. Now, how are we going to do that? Uh, let's see. So we were here. Let's, sorry. Yeah, just accidentally closed that. Yeah, here we are. So now to delete a particular record, a procedure remove details is required. Input membership number, create a new file details.txt, copy all the lines from email details.txt to new email details.txt. This means that we need to open two files. Now, how to solve this particular question is, even let's talk about, even if let's say if we don't know much about, you know, somehow the question is a little bit confusing and we just want to solve it as much as we can. The method I always used to tell my students is this, keeps things simple. Input membership detail, a procedure, remove detail. So they have told us to make a procedure. You just start doing it like this. Just uh, so so we need to write on the pseudocode. It's not the Visual Basic or Python. The procedure is known as sub in Visual Basic. So procedure, remove details. So by looking at the question, you just try to put as much as information that you can already. So this is your procedure. Okay, so just write it down because they have asked you to do so. Input the membership details of the club member to be removed. You just need to input. Okay. All right. Before we go input or before we go output anything, we often know that we need to open the files in some particular mode. It's filing, right? So in filing, you just need to open files either in some input mode or output mode or append mode. Create a new file. So if you need to create a new file, it's mean that you need to open the file in, guess what? To create, guess what? Output. All right. If you just want to create the file, you just need to create it in output mode, or you can also call it, the write mode. Copy all the lines from email details. So if you want to copy something, if you just need to copy, the mode is, this means you need to read. Read means input mode, or you can simply also call it read. So these are the things. So copy all the lines from the email details to txt to new email details. So these email details will be open as open file. You can give it a reference as well, or you can just, it's a pseudocode, so just you name it, email details dot txt. You always put it in double quotes. This is the file that you need to open it, and the mode should be, uh, because it's a pseudocode, just so you can now you can mention open mode dot, or you can just write down for there's an email detail, they need to be copied, so input, for input or for write, sorry, for read. Okay, so this is for the email details because we need to copy the data, and just like I told you, this is the program that's a little bit different. We need to open two files because we need to delete a record. The second thing is to create a new file, new email details. So new email details.txt, and the open mode or for write, or write means output. So you need to open two files, and then what you need to do, you need to input membership details to be removed. So to input, you can also write down the prompt thingy, or you just input like this, enter m details, this is your prompt, comma, and you just need to use some variable. They already have told you about the variable, input membership number. So you have to write down this membership number. So this is your variable, and both of the files are opened just like it has been told. You just have to open them accordingly. um, and then the tricky part, you know that you need to open two files. You definitely need to close these two files as well, just to get as many marks as you can, even if god forbid you just really don't know the the inside, the internal part of it. So close file, we open this file before. Open file, new email details. Yeah, so you can simply close, whether you can close any file at any time, but email details, you can definitely do it later, but I'm just letting you know that how you can score as much marks as you can. If you have opened the file, you definitely need to new email details. All right, so now because we have opened one file in read mode or in input mode, so it's fixed that we need to do this tricky part, while not EOF1. Okay, or if you're using a pseudocode, so one, we are not using the reference number, so EOF what, EOF email details. So email details or txt, there we go. All right, and what they have asked us to do, they ask us to remove a particular record for the variable, the membership that they have just entered. तो जो मेंबरशिप नंबर इनपुट लिया है, उसी पर्टिकुलर रिकॉर्ड को हमें डिलीट करना। लेट्स से वो कहते हैं कि जी हमें अगर ये रिकॉर्ड डिलीट करना, तो जो इनपुट किया जाएगा, द वैल्यू, द नंबर दैट विल गोइंग टू बी इनपुट will be only this. So first what we need to do, let's suppose there could be some other records as well. So first we need to locate that record so we can delete rest of it. But to find, we need only this portion. This, I think if you have already done the questions with string manipulation, all that, which are quite obvious, you already know what to do. You need to separate this part first to compare. So this thing is inside membership number, and a membership number variable which we have just input. Okay, user could have input like 2151. Now we need to compare this with each record to get the data from the file, and then what we need to do, we need to separate that part of it. All right, so we already know that we have opened the file email details in read mode, and we are doing this part with we're going to keep reading each record until we come across with end of file. And what we need to do, we need to um, if you're reading the file, and in this we just need to run this command, let's say call it input or line read, whatever, and it's like email details. This is the file, and we just use some variable, maybe info, let's call it. Okay, now each record of this file will going to be copied one by one in that info variable. Each record, first this one, then this one, and so on, in that particular variable info. Okay, this is what we have used here. Info, input, from which file, email details. Now once each part of it is being copied here in info, what we need to do for comparing, To check if that is the particular record, we use the if condition. If our membership number is here, it's in this variable. Okay, and we want to check that it's not compared with the, we're going to use the built-in function left, okay, on this info, because the record is being stored here in info. And how many characters that we need to pick from the left side? 4 only. From the left side of each record, we just need to pick the 4 characters to compare it with the membership number. So if it's compared, if it's the one, then that's the tricky part. Then we will going to write. We're not going to output some message or this and that. This is how we delete the record from each file. Write file. Now the new one. New email detail .txt info. So only that particular record will not be, I just repeat myself, only that particular record will not be copied if it's compared with this number that we have just input in membership detail. It's mean, for example, um, what we're actually trying to do, that we're actually creating a new text file, the new email details. All right, and what we're trying to do, that if this is the existing email text file and it's a new email text file, we're going to keep copying each record. We're going to keep copying each record. But if the number that the membership number that we have entered, if it's compared, only that part will not be copied. Rest of the data will be copied. That's the reason we use that not is equal to sign there. And once that thing is being done, the new text file will be created. That text file is going to have all the records except the membership number that we just want to delete. So hence the data will be deleted. And in A2 we just know we are known to do some other parts, but this is it. In AS the target is achieved. The new text file is basically having all the numbers, all the data except the membership, that number that we just wanted to delete that particular record. So this is how just you write down the program, and this is the solution. You just look into this question. This is the past paper question. You can also go into the marking scheme. You can have a look in description. I will going to mention you more questions over the WhatsApp. You can just ask me the queries. If there are any ambiguities, yes, there can be ambiguities because this is only one-sided recorded lecture. Just ask me as many questions as you can. I will also going to have an online session with you people, and before and after that online session, I will going to give you some quizzes as well, so you people stay alert. And if I come to know that if you're actually listening to these lectures or not, and you're preparing yourself good, all the best. I just wish you very best of luck. Happy surprise holidays and stay safe. Khuda Hafiz.